totally truthful with you. I had things doing, I had my YouTube to concentrate on, I had this, I had that, and it allowed me more time with the kids, and then allowed me more time with some bits and bobs that I've got going on the background. To be honest, I didn't feel anyhow psychologically. Oh, hello guys, you're welcome back to my channel. My name is Olubukola Akimalayo Ogundele. I'm a registered nurse. I live and work in the UK. So I'm so excited today because it's my 11th day being at home. So I've been at home for strictly 10 days because I've had to isolate. So I contracted COVID-19 on the 8th. Well, I tested positive on the 8th of January. That was on Saturday. So what I'll say is, no matter what you hear anywhere, no matter what you watch anywhere, make sure you go on the official gov.uk website to see what's obtainable, like what's up to date with regards to COVID, with regards to isolation, because things change. Because from the 11th to the 17th was just 6 days apart, and then there was a new thing rolled out, and then anything could be rolled out, and sometimes a YouTuber or anybody could think they're giving the most up-to-date information, not realizing it's been updated. So it is your own responsibility to make sure that you do whatever it is that you need to do in this UK or wherever you are as per the government guideline. That way you don't misdo things or misdirect things. Everything I'll be saying is just as per documentation on the gov.uk website as at the recording date of this video. In this video today, I'll be talking about what the experience was like when I contracted it, even though I had my second or two doses, my full doses with my booster. And then I'll be talking about how it was, family dynamics, how it changed things for me, my little ones, my husband, and then the kind of support I got, and then how I felt, especially the point in time I personally felt poorly in between it all. So I hope you stay tuned. Thank you very much. So quickly, I'll first talk about when I tested positive to this virus. So it was on the 8th of January. It was a Saturday. I was gonna go upstairs to go have my bath and then begin to prepare for work when I got that message saying your PCR you did the previous day, not the previous day, early the morning of that day, had come back positive. So I was on night shift. I was on 4 nights in a row. It started on the 6th, so I had done the 6th, I had done the 7th, but for whatever reason, leaving work on the morning of the 8th, with the way everything went, I don't want to go into details because of confidentiality. So given the way everything went on excuse me, the night of the 7th into the 8th, I just had that inclination to do like a PCR. I wasn't symptomatic, but I felt really funny at the back of my throat. At some point I felt like I was losing my sense of taste. So I could not feel my taste my coffee properly. And then I was going to do a lateral flow, but I think somebody had used up the fluid in the kit or something. There was just something around the lateral flow test and why I just couldn't get one done. So I thought, you know what, I might as well get a PCR done. Whatever comes. So I'll just do this and just go home. So I got it done, went home, and then must have been past 6 o'clock, I was on my way to starting to prepare for work when I got that message saying I was positive. I mean, my head went bang, bang, bang. So I immediately put it on the seniors group, that's on the nurses group, and then immediately put it on, immediately rang the ward, let the ward know, and that was pretty much it. So the day I test positive, or the day I tested positive, or the day you test positive, I think that's what I'm trying to, is your day 0. So you don't count that day as to anything, it's day 0. So your isolation begins to count from the next day. I then started isolating proper from the 9th of January, which was the Sunday. So that was when my isolation started proper. So how did I feel? I felt absolutely okay. There was no problems with me, no concerns at all. If I'm right, I did not get a call on that Sunday. It must have been on Monday. So when infection control came to work, they then rang me on Monday. So back to Sunday quickly, I felt absolutely fine. Apart from my sense of taste, my sense of smell wasn't that bad. No fever, no headache, no GI concerns, so I was all right. So then moving forward quickly to Monday, they rang me. I got a call from our infection control team from the trust, and then they ran me through what to expect, how do I feel, what made me do it in the first instance. I gave them the whole breakdown, and then they did their documentation. They said to just holler, should I need help, should I feel poorly, and all of that. So that was how that went. And then I will be showing you what I felt. I then got an email from NHS Test and Trace, so saying and an SMS as well, saying I've tested positive, this is my unique code, with this unique code I should go to so link, that's the website, and then put my unique code in, and then answer all the questions. So it must have taken me about a few minutes online trying to fill out all of these things. So from what I gathered, I could be wrong, but from the questions I picked up from NHS Test and Trace, for me to be symptomatic on the 8th of January, I must have contracted it between the 3rd and the 5th of January. So from what I gathered, and then I filled the form, they sent me another email, they asked if they left me a link, should I need any support, but I felt okay, see, so I didn't need any support. So day 1 was alright, day 2 was okay, but day 3 I started having these GI symptoms. That was when I started going to the toilet. I just didn't feel good in my belly, like, you know when you feel sick inside of you. So I felt sick, and then I lost my appetite a bit. That was day 3 and day 4, if I'm right. In a way, I'm beginning to think it was day 2 and day 3. So either ways, either day 2 and day 3, or day 3 and day 4, either one. But I wasn't too bad. Like, I wasn't bad where I couldn't carry out my activities of daily living. No, I was still able to do what I normally would. So with regards to my vaccination record, I'd taken my first dose last year, my second dose last year, and then I had my booster 3 days before I came down with it. So I must have had my booster on the 5th, if I'm right, of January, and then I tested positive on the 8th. So I think that's how I'd like to think about it. Yes. So I mean, at the end of the day, you get this question like, okay, I'm positive, or I've had the booster, I've had the full vaccines, can I still test positive? Oh yes, you can. I mean, people just be like, okay, that's the reason I don't want to take the vaccines or the booster or whatever, because at the end of the day, you will still come down with it if you come down with it. What I'll say to you in that regard is, taking the vaccines, taking the booster doesn't mean you have become an angel or you have become something. You can still contract the virus. It's just that it reduces your chances. And then should you be poorly, you're not as poorly as people who haven't had their vaccines at all, because you've been vaccinated. And the thing about the way the body works is that we've got the T memory cells, B memory cells, if I remember from my medical surgical nursing. They remember that the vaccine has been put inside of them, and then this vaccine, what it does is fight against this virus should the body get exposed to it. So for that reason, they remember, they attack the virus live, as compared to someone who doesn't have the vaccine at all, and God forbid hasn't got a good immune system on top of that. So which is why it's just good to get double vaccinated.
Losing time, I'm fading fast. I just wanna make it last. Try to let go of the past. I close my eyes, embrace the blast. Sleepless nights and headaches stack. Restlessness to hell and back. What's my purpose? What do I grab? A slippery surface, a heart attack. And sometimes you just gotta believe there's something that'll give you relief. There's something that'll have what you need. What you need. We're broken, it's tragic. We're not all elastic, but maybe there's magic. Believe you could have it. And I know of sadness, the anxious and panic, the infinite vastness of all that is blackness.
Last year, December, towards the end, nobody could tell me that I was negative. I just knew it should have been a positive. And then I did all the lateral flow tests in the world. I swabbed my back proper, as in the back of my throat, I mean. And then I did the PCRs, all the PCRs I can do in the world, all negative. So then fast forward to when it then came positive. I do not get it, because at that period I felt absolutely great, like great, champion. So how it then became positive, I just don't know. Anyway, it's one of those things. So that's with regards to late positive. That's what you'd hear some people say. It's also another thing people say, whether or not it's a myth or a fact or it's just a personal thing, is that people who have had the vaccine but haven't had COVID before, the first time it hits them so bad. So what do you think about this, guys? I don't know. And then people who have had it before and also plus or minus have had the vaccines do not come down as bad should they have it again. So I think it still boils down to the T memory cells and all of that in the body. So that being said, I think that's all. And then the impact on the family. So speaking of the impact on the family, it just meant the little ones couldn't do much. They had to stop at home with me, and then dad would still move around because it's kind of job they weren't really keen on. Should anybody test positive in your household, you can't come. He did his lateral flow test, they came back all negative, and he just cracked on. So did he kiss me through that period? No. No, he didn't. So we just avoided, because I didn't want anything to affect his job or his up and down and all of that. So we kept that part short for that period. So another thing is the psychological impact. To be completely honest with you, I didn't feel really down. Like, I've got a few colleagues who had COVID recently, and then they came back saying, oh my god, I feel so emotional. And it's not somebody giving you fibs, it's the truth. So I mean, real life telling me they feel very emotional, they cry at every little thing, they probably forgot something somewhere, and it's not I would say it's not a big deal. And then you find them crying, and I'm like, do not. So, but with regards to the psychological effect on me, I felt absolutely champion, to be totally truthful with you. I had things doing, I had my YouTube to concentrate on, I had this, I had that, and it allowed me more time with the kids, and then allowed me more time with some bits and bobs that I've got going on the background. To be honest, I didn't feel anyhow psychologically. I'm the last person to feel that way anyway, but then I'd never say never. So it's just I was blessed enough to feel all right with it. So with regards to isolation, so when I contracted it, the rule as at that time was you will do your day 6 and day 7 lateral flow tests. So should any of them come back positive, you do it another one on the day 8th. So I did my day 6, and the thingy was negative. Then when I went back some hours later, I saw like a bit of a trace on the positive section, positive line. So I knew I would need to do this at the following day 1. So the following day came back, I think negative if I'm right. And then the last day, the 8th day, sorry, I did not feel very good. So I did it, so it was negative, but I just knew I did not feel very good. But ideally, should you get 2 negatives, it's okay to go back to work. If you don't feel feverish, or if you don't feel funny, if you feel good enough, it's okay to go back to work. So with a trace positive and then a negative, was it a negative and a trace again, or a negative? But the 8th day, to be honest, I had them GI symptoms again, and then I wasn't very great the 8th day. I remember I was speaking to a friend, and she went, "We've not been reinfected," and I'm thinking, I haven't left this house, and I think my husband is the most careful person I've ever known, so I don't think so. So and that was it really. I then came back around towards the end of the 9th day, and yesterday was the 10th day. So and then today I'm free again. I've done like how many videos on reels. I'm so happy, I'm jumping. I've uploaded my TikTok after how many months. I feel absolutely okay. The only thing though that I think I've noticed is I get a bit tired easily. I think that's the only thing that I've noticed with this one. That's the only thing, like just getting tired on little exertion. And then I think it might be because my muscles are a bit wasted. I tried to do some exercises and all of that, but then I didn't get anywhere with it. But thank God I'm out, so I can go to the gym if I like. With regards to isolation updates in England at the moment, a positive lateral flow test means you go away on isolation, but you want to read the government guideline. I'm saying it again, you want to read the government guideline, please. So, and then on day 5 and day 6, you know how mine was day 6, day 7, day 8. So on day 5 and day 6 at the moment, you will do a lateral flow test. So should any of them be positive, you do not go back to work, you stay indoor. But should day 5 be negative, you can go out for at the beginning of day 6. So that's how it works at the moment. Read in depth as to what's actually obtainable at the moment. So I think that's it really. Yeah. So lastly, I'll be talking about the C-19 period. So for those of us that are in the healthcare system, you probably know what this is, but for the benefit of those that do not know. So when you contract COVID, within the same 90 days, remember you start counting a day following when your results came back positive. So 90 days after that, any test you take, well, ideally, you shouldn't have to take any COVID test. Because if you do, there is a very high chance that it comes back positive. So you are in your C-19 period, COVID-19 90 period, just to mean that the virus is still somewhere in your body, in your bloodstream. So anything you do, your saliva, every part of you still has traces of COVID virus in it. So that being said, you are most likely to still test positive within the 90-day period. If you don't, good, but if you do, do not worry. In as you can go about your business, you don't have to isolate anymore, in as much as you're doing the test within the 90 period of your last positive result. But the only thing that would make you do a COVID test, ideally, remember I said ideally you shouldn't do a COVID-19. So on the video rather. So but at the moment this babe is tired. So we see you again. Take care of yourself, guys. Bye.